1-0 is back, and we start off with Zenlith making a little girl cry. Yeah, so she's freaking out that her little friend Mimi is broken because, it's talking with an old man's voice. It switches back to Mimi and then says, no, I'm just sharing my body with someone at the moment. She doesn't get it, she's a little girl, so she starts crying, thinking that her friend is broken. Rebecca, of course, decides to tell her, oh, don't worry, we're gonna fix her. We'll just come play with me for a bit. And they go off somewhere else. So Zenlith explains the whole story of how he ended up in a little robot's body. So, just like before, there was a virus spread on Forstria, and the robots went insane, started killing all the humans. Zenlith heard about this and decided to go on to see what happened, where he ended up meeting and confronting Muller. And yeah, Muller's still an asshole. He did it as an experiment, like he does with everything, just to see if he could do it, I guess. I don't know. Muller's a psychopath. But when Zenlith introducing himself, Muller, of course, recognized him since he's one of the heroes of the Dark Age, and he actually starts losing his mind. He actually thinks that there a time paradox happened, like he went back in time or something, and everything's going to be destroyed or whatever, But Zenlith was like, no, none of that matters right now. Don't worry about it. Zenlith doesn't even explain, this isn't a time paradox. I just turned myself into an android. That would have been a much better idea. Because just telling someone, don't worry, we don't have to worry about the universe exploding because of a time paradox. You're going to need more than that, but it doesn't matter in the end. Because Muller is just screwing with them anyway. And he doesn't stop screwing with them, because even when Zenlith is trying to get really serious and tell him to fix the androids, put them back to normal, Muller just starts babbling a random equation. And this gag pretty much goes on for a while, where Zenlith trying to have a serious conversation, but Muller's being an asshole. Hermit even comments that, that's pretty normal. Zenlith assumes that he was given an order by Shira to do this, but of course Muller calls Shira an idiot, and also lazy, and just not worth his time. That's when Muller reveals that he's actually been working for Void this entire time, that he doesn't care about anything else, as Void is the future. This part is just weird, where Muller then reveals that Void has a plan to have 4 dark stars, plus 6 Irrational Sace members, which means in total there will be 10 of them, so 1 and 0. And he says the world will be made of nothing but 1s and 0s. Now I'm assuming that also means androids will be the only thing left, because he plans on killing off, all life. There has to be more to it than that, because that just sounds absurd. A world of 1s and 0s? Like, what exactly does that mean? What is the underlying meaning behind that exactly? It just feels like there's more to it than just a world of androids. Like, Void has another goal outside of just getting rid of humanity. There's something specific he's looking for, that he can only acquire after killing Mother. Now, Muller reveals that he was given a job by Void to create an android to join the Irrational Sace Galactica. Now, here's the thing. When Muller first said that, my first assumption was, well, he's probably going to turn himself into an android like he did in the last world. But another part of me was like, would he be willing to just create an android for Void that isn't himself? And at the end, Void would just kill him, of course, because Void is going to kill everyone who isn't an android. And so that thought came into my head for a second, but then I was like, Muller is a jackass and an evil piece of shit, but he doesn't seem to be stupid enough to do something like that. Muller has to know that his world only involves androids, so it would make sense only to turn himself into an android so he doesn't end up getting killed. But still, that thought for a second did pass through my mind, like, is Muller really that stupid? He's not. He does turn himself into an android. Yeah, so this experiment, and apparently a bunch of others that he's been doing on androids, was to find the best android possible, the one that could be used to form the Irrational Sace Galactica member. But he decided to scrap that entire plan as soon as Zenlith came around, because, he's already super powerful. He's the perfect android. Yeah, so Zenlith is hit with an EMP, completely taken out, made crippled. And, well, Muller just does what Muller does. He somehow is able to rip out the gravity ether from Zenlith and put it into himself. Well, not exactly yet into himself. I guess he stores it somewhere else until he can create himself an android body. But after taking his power, he threw out Zenlith, expecting him just to die there, but he ended up being next to Mimi, where he transferred his consciousness. Aruna then found Mimi, and both of them were taken to Oasis Alpha Planet. For some reason, Muller was able to find out that Zenlith was still alive, and the fact that he was actually with Oasis. Don't know how. Muller then tricked Shira into going after Zenlith, hoping that he would kill him so he could solve his problem for him. And Shira just believes Zenlith because he's a cute little robot and Muller is a creepy bastard old man. So yeah, I guess that's one way of getting on Shira's good side. Just don't be a creepy bastard old man. Shira's all pissed now because he got tricked by Muller, and he basically demands who's the person who hired him. It was the other guy who's an idiot. I can't remember his name, but he also didn't know that the princess was a spy, so, you know, it is what it is. Everyone then points out that Shira's the one whose job it is to handle management, so even if he didn't hire him, it's still his fault. Yeah, so this is incredibly stupid. So we find out that instead of Oasis being created to fight against Shira and Nero because they're both evil bastards, it was formed because Shira is a spoiled teenager. So that's it. The people of Oasis didn't want to be ruled over by a teenager. This world's version of Laguna was an idiot. Started a rebellion over something so stupid. Is amazing. Shiki again tries to become friends with Shira, and he smacks his hand away. So we got the opposite happening from the old world. And Shira's like, no, I got plenty of friends. So yeah, he's pretty dedicated to making friends with Shira, and that just ain't happening. So Shiki's the captain, so they asked him what should they do next. I mean, they already have Laguna, so there's no reason for them to get involved in all this. And Shiki's response to that is, well, we can't just abandon Zenlith. Zenlith is very appreciative that some stranger is willing to help so willingly, and that's when she reveals that, well, I was actually taught gravity ether from Ziggy, and obviously Zenlith taught Ziggy, so he puts 2 and 2 together as, oh, okay. Okay, so Muller is all the way back on planet Nero 1, and on a video call, he's having a conversation with Void where he's giving him a mission, and of course Muller accepts it. Now at the time, Void is calling him Zenlith, but because there's still 2, originally Muller was planning on killing Zenlith, but he failed, so now it's just confusing the fact that there's now 2 Zenliths. So Muller's like, you know what, screw it, just call me Muller. And Muller is... well, he's definitely an android like he's like in the last world, but this time he's fucking hideous. For some reason, he decided to give himself a back hump like Quasimodo for some reason. I don't really understand that. And his eyes are as buggy as hell. Like what the fuck did you do to yourself? What you could have made yourself look any way you chose. And you went with what has to be literally the closest thing to a monster you could have thought of. Not to mention, he also has backwards knees. Double jointed backwards knees. Like, what the fuck? He wanted to look like a monster. He wanted people to fear him, I guess. There are other ways. I mean, you can still make yourself look badass and cool. Like, look at Void. He clearly went for an aesthetic of coolness. Like, why? Why would you do that to yourself? I am glad that Muller is still a piece of shit, though, because there was no way in hell I wanted Chigi to become friends with him. We had to forgive. No, fuck that. Kill Muller again. That would be a beautiful sight. So yeah, it's a good thing Muller's still a piece of shit. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up so you can enjoy more Eden Zero and other anime things. Thank you, and have a great day.